This is the easiest way to waterproof a shower. GoBoard is a waterproof, lightweight backer board made of foam, so it's way easier to install versus something like cement board. It's so easy to handle, cut, and install, which is why I chose it for this project. Just make sure you wear gloves because the outside is made of fiberglass. And I just want to say I am not a professional. This was my first time doing this. I'm just showing you what I did, and maybe you'll find some helpful tips. I couldn't fit all the steps in this video, so make sure you do lots of research before you tackle this yourself. GoBoard is made of foam, so you can easily cut it with a utility knife. It was helpful to have a T-square to mark my measurements. I scored the line with a utility knife and it easily breaks off. It's even easy to cut off small portions if you just need to trim it down a little bit. I first marked the GoBoard where my studs are to keep the washers in line. The washers should be placed 12 inches apart. Make sure there's a 1/8 inch gap between your boards and from the tub or shower for the sealant to go in. I don't show it here, but you can just use regular spacers for this. And then I screwed the fasteners into the washers. When you're installing GoBoard, make sure you're going over the lip of your tub, but still leaving that 1/8 inch gap for silicone caulk. To make cuts around the plumbing, this hole saw set was super helpful. But you can also just use a utility knife to cut around it, which is what I ended up doing for the top. I don't show it in this video, but I did have to layer 2 layers of GoBoard to be flush with my drywall because of how thick my drywall is in this bathroom. GoBoard comes in 1/4 and 1/2 inch, so I layered them on top of each other after I did the sealant on the first layer. When doing your measurements, make sure you account for that 1/8 inch gap that you need on the sides. By this point, I really needed to see something pretty, so I put my shower head on to see what it was going to look like. Again, I did use 1/8 inch spacers on the sides and when placing GoBoard on top of one another to allow for the sealant. You only need to seal the board joints and fastener locations for waterproofing. You'll want at least 1 inch overlap past the seams for a watertight finish. And you'll probably need more sealant than you think you need.
I had to get an electric caulk gun because this stuff is so thick.
My arms were burning. This stuff is almost impossible to get out with a manual caulk gun.
If you are going to do GoBoard, you definitely need one of these.
This inside corner trowel is definitely needed for the corners. This was another thing that took me way longer than I thought it would, but it is done. Follow along for part 4 where I'll be tiling the shower.